This is Reus. A couple weeks ago, when I was playing Simuland, I compared it to this game, and I went back into my old videos to try to find where I had streamed Reus, and found out that actually I played Reus so long ago, it was before I had my stream. And so I've been thinking of Reus as being one of the many games that I've, played and discussed on the stream, but actually I just played it and I loved it, and I talked to a lot of people about it just in my life at the time, but I never actually did a video of it. So I went and I reinstalled it and grabbed it because this is just an old favorite of mine that I really loved. I actually, one of my, I don't know, favorite things I've ever done at PAX was go and find the creators of this game and tell them how much I loved it. And they were, they were excited about that. I think that, it was a game that didn't get a lot of attention, but they did some absolutely brilliant things with it. And so I figured, a typical game of Reus takes a couple of hours. I don't think I'm going to try to do the full couple of hours, but I want to show you what's cool about this game. So let's start a brand new game. And, oh, you know what? I can explicitly decide to have a 30-minute game of this. So let's just do that. Let's do a 30-minute game of Reus. Reus always, well, not always, but a typical game of Reus has a time limit on it, which is actually one of my favorite things about it, because this is sort of a civilization building game. But unlike Civilization, it's not all about getting to the point where the game becomes extremely dull because it's so big and so complicated. You just can't take care of it all without just spending a lot of time and a lot of attention. It just, games like that tend to drag themselves down into the muck. Reus really pushes you to set a time limit, and in fact, most of the advantages, most of the rewards that you get for successfully playing depend on the game having an ending. Like most of the achievement type challenges in this game say, end an era with this condition met. And so the game really encourages you to set time limits, to not just play the game into the dirt until it's not fun anymore, but to make each session of it, or each campaign that you play through, short, sweet, and satisfying. So okay, yeah. So right here, these are the challenges that I'm currently pursuing. So hunter community, finish an era with a village that has a certain amount of prosperity and only uses animals. So we're going to try to do an animal only community. Now, we only have 30 minutes. It might actually not be possible to get all of these challenges with only 30 minutes, but we'll see if we can give it a try. Another one is finish an era with at least 3 completed great projects. You don't know what any of this means, so I'm going to stop reading it. Start game. Okay, so this is what Reus is about. You've got these 4 giants, basically, who are like godlike beings on this world. You got a world that is completely barren and void, and you're basically the god of this world, and your job, kind of like in Simuland, is to create the conditions under which humanity can thrive. But then the humanity thrives or doesn't thrive on its own. It's making a lot of its own decisions, and so you are trying to coax it into survival without being able to exert a lot of direct control. So the way we start this is usually start with the ocean guy. So this is the ocean giant. This is the rock giant. This is the forest giant. This is the swamp giant, and they all have sort of a domain over a different kind of biome. So we start with the ocean giant, and we dig an ocean. Right there. So all of the actions that you have depend on the giants. The giants do them. And so it's not as simple as just messing with the world directly. You actually have to physically get the giant there, and they have to perform the action. And later on, as there come to be risks in the environment, you're actually putting these guys at risk sometimes to do these actions. And if they need to do something and the place is scary, sometimes you just can't do the action. Okay, so he digs an ocean, and then you'll notice that actually adds moisture to a big tract of land here. So then we're going to grab the forest giant, and we're going to stick a forest right there, right next to the ocean. And then, you know what? Let's grab the rock giant and build a mountain just on the other side of the forest. All right, so the forest is enough for us to get started, though, while we're waiting for the mountain to show up. So let's have the forest giant place some fruiting plants right here. And so for humanity to show up, what you need is just something that they can start to build their civilization around. So you see there's a little nomad right here who's just appeared because I put the fruit trees down, or put those fruit bushes down. Okay, so a forest village has settled. Forest villages often start projects that require food. Try using fruit plants and domestic animals within the village borders. Okay, great. So we've got this little place. So, all right. And we've got the rock giant building a mountain. Mountains are how you create deserts. I actually really love that because it's basically taking how the real world works. It's not just saying let's place a desert, let's place a forest. It's like forests require moisture. Deserts are in rain shadows. Like, it's intuitive in a way that I just would not expect a game this gamey and arbitrary to be, and I really like that about it. So, okay, let me pause for a second. So, now we're actually going to see how this game works. So, oh, actually, you know what? My head is in the way of some of the things you're going to want to see. So let me move down to the bottom left of the screen and get back. Okay, so I click on the place where I've added these blueberries. So this is a blueberry bush, and it tells me the rules about it. Right now, it creates 5 food and 1 natura, which let's just focus on the food. It creates 5 food. So this village, because it's got this project they're starting to build that gives them 15 food, and these blueberries that give them 5 food, that means that they can have up to 20 food here. And so because we give them the potential for 20 food, they've got, the option for 20, and then this number 3 is going to slowly be ticking up towards 20. And so your goal with these villages is to basically look at the projects they want to do, like right here. This project will be completed when they have 30 food. So it's my job to give them the capacity to get to 30 food. Now, I could just add enough things in their environment to get it just barely to 30, and then it would very slowly tick up to 30. But if I raise it to 60 or 80, then it will go up faster, and I'll get the project done faster. But when you have them go quickly, they tend to get greedy, and then they turn into giant jerks, and they start attacking your giants, and they start attacking your other cities. And so this game is a game of balance, very careful balance, where you're trying to give people what they want so they can develop as a civilization, but not too much and not too quickly, or they start to turn into bad people. Rainier says that yes, this is how it feels to be an ant keeper. This does have a little bit of that vibe to it. It's like, it feels like you've got humans in a terrarium and you're trying to work with them. So how do we get them more food? Well, we could just put more blueberry bushes around, which is one option, but you'll see that, so these blueberries, they've got things that they can grow into. They've got transmutations. So you can become a strawberry if I give them leaf aspect, which I'll explain in a second, or an apple tree if I give them fruit aspect. And then each of these different plants have different symbioses. So right now, this because I've got a blueberry, it's got a symbiosis that says this will make extra food if it's next to an apple tree, a dandelion, or a strawberry. Okay, so, and I know how to make an apple tree and a strawberry. I do it by transmuting a blueberry. So, if I want to maximize the food that these guys have and get up to 30, what I should do is I should have the forest giant make a second blueberry over here. And then I've got 2 blueberries next to each other, each of them making 5. Oh, well, okay, I can settle a new city in a second. I'll worry about that in a minute. So, each of them making 5, and then actually, I don't know why this jumped up to 30. That's interesting. I don't know what's up there. Anyway, okay, so I've already satisfied this, but for the sake of argument, let's say I want this to start growing faster, which means I want to raise the maximum even higher. I can take this blueberry and see this little slot here for aspects. So aspects are like sort of magical blessings that I can give tracts of land. So I'm going to grab leaf aspect, which is what my forest person here has. I'm going to grant leaf aspect to these blueberries. So you'll see as he performs the spell, leaf aspect appears. Ooh, and I got a potent one. That's better than normal. And so leaf aspect actually added another resource. So just by adding the aspect, I made this tract of land more. It's called a patch. I made this patch more productive, but I can make it even more productive by transmuting it into a strawberry, because now that it's got the leaf aspect, this is unlocked. So I transmute it. Now it's got synergy with the blueberry. So the blueberry is now getting plus 10 food because it's next to a strawberry, and I've satisfied this symbiosis. But I look at the strawberry, and it's got a symbiosis that says, okay, it does extra food if it's next to a blueberry, which you can see there, and it's extra if it's next to a dandelion or another strawberry. So I could go even further. I don't actually know how to make a dandelion. let's see, maybe, could it be an herb? Okay, I'm going to go bring my swamp guy over here. So, you notice, so the forest guy, he can make fruit plants. Ocean guy can make domestic animals. Oh, I'll go over that in a second because something exciting just happened. So, we completed our project. We got up, you can see here, we got up to 30 food, which completed the project. And that unlocks an ambassador. And ambassadors are how I level up my giants. So you can see, when I'm looking at the forest giant has got some missing spots here. It's got some locked abilities that it can't use. Like right now, if I'd wanted to make an apple tree, that requires fruit aspect. And I don't have fruit aspect unlocked, but I will unlock it if I get a forest ambassador. So I can send my forest giant over here to pick up that forest ambassador. And so then I'm going to have a little person riding on my head, and now I've unlocked fruit aspect, so now I can make apple trees. Okay, yes, so this is dandelions. So the strawberry gets... Oh, uh-oh, one of my villages is getting greedy. These guys are starting to get a little bit greedy. That's bad for me, because if they get greedy... Oh, yeah, so right here, this is their greed gauge. So the more red faces they get, the worse they get. And so they're actually going to start making bigger demands and attacking my giants or attacking other cities if their greed gets too high. And their greed's getting high because I made their food capacity so much larger than the food they had that they're gaining food really quickly and they're growing quickly. And if they grow quickly, they start to get greedy. So I got to be really careful with that. You want to level them up, but not that fast. So yeah, so I've got these dandelions here. So those now satisfy... Oh yeah, so now this is creating awe. And what awe does is it counteracts greed. And I forgot where we can see that it's counteracting greed. But that's what I've been... Oh, there we go. Awe right here. Okay, so each awe allows the village to grow a bit faster without increasing greed. So because they've got awe now, because of these dandelions, they're not going to get greed as quickly. So that's good for me. Anyway, so you'll notice that so as this city gets bigger, gets more prosperous, it builds towards another nomad. And so this nomad is another ability basically for me to plant a new town. So let's have our rock guy come over here and add some precious minerals. So I think if you just put anything down on terrain that is unclaimed, you get the potential for a nomad to show up. Let me see if that's right. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, so a nomad just showed up over here. And so now we're going to be settling a desert town. So deserts tend to want wealth. So we'll see what kind of project these guys come up with. Meanwhile, these guys are going to keep growing until they decide they want to do another project. But for right now, we'll focus on these guys. Or, while we're waiting for their project to show up, I can go over here and have my swamp guy. Grab swamp guy. Have swamp guy make a swamp over here. And actually, let's grab ocean guy and make a second ocean right there. So we're ready for the next time. In fact, we've already unlocked another nomad, so we could actually make a second village immediately. So, okay, so these guys they want to build a trade post, which means they need 30 wealth. Right now, they've got 25 wealth, so I just need to make a little bit more wealth. This won't be that hard, because this is quartz, and quartz, see here, it gets plus 8 tech if it's next to stone, and plus 8 wealth if it's next to more quartz. So if I want just to ratchet up the wealth available over here, I just got to put another quartz next to that quartz. So a lot of these early symbioses are very simple. It's just put the same thing next to itself, like a strawberry next to a strawberry, a quartz next to a quartz. As you start going for more advanced things and sort of going up the tech tree of these patch improvements, they start to get more complicated. And trying to maximize, and the demands of your villages start to get really, really complicated, where in order to satisfy them, you have to do really elaborate combinations of symbioses. So, okay, so over here, we've made room for a swamp with ocean on both sides, which is fun. Let's have this guy place some animals down. Which, that's wealth. Yeah, let's do that. So He's going to place some animals. So far we've only looked at minerals and plants. And minerals and plants work the same way, which is they... I'll get after that in a second. Oh, actually, let's do this now. So, okay, we got a desert ambassador. Rock guy, do you want to grab the desert ambassador? What will you get for the desert? Oh, we got a swamp village too. Okay, but desert, you will get noble aspect and more wealth. Okay, yeah, sure, we'll do that. Anyway, animals are different from... So minerals and plants, they each just land on one patch. But animals have this area of influence where they can actually affect more patches around them. And so you could, for instance, within the territory of your village, you'll notice, by the way, that this village has got little outposts here and little buoys. These mark the edges of the village. So the village only cares about what happens on the patches that are within these boundaries. And the boundaries will grow as the village grows. So what you'll often do is you'll put minerals and plants within the boundaries of the village, but then you'll put animals just outside, but the animals' area of influence will reach into the village. And so you can stack all of these benefits on top of each other using the way that the benefits of these different patch improvements spread out and overlap. All right, so anyway, so these guys, so right here I've got poison dart frogs, which give you just tiny amounts of wealth, but they give extra wealth and more range. They reach out further if you put them next to an elderberry. I'm pretty sure an elderberry is one of the herbs that this guy makes, so let's try that. Was that an elderberry? No, that's peppermint. Okay, so maybe elderberry is what the forest guy puts down. So I'm going to bring forest guy over here to build an elderberry. What are these guys doing? They want technology. Okay, so right now I'm setting them up like they want wealth. They don't want wealth. They want technology. So how do you do technology? I think so technology comes from two places. It comes from minerals. There we go. Okay, yeah. So you can see that so here's what's going on. The elderberry makes 12 food by itself. It really likes being next to an animal nest, which gives it extra food. And these animals really love being next to elderberries, and you'll notice that now their range spread out one patch more, and it went from 1 to 3. So now these dart frogs are way more valuable than they were before. The problem, though, is this place doesn't care about dart frogs. They don't want wealth right now. What they want is technology. So technology comes from one type of mineral. The rock giant's coming over here to drop. He does two kinds of minerals. Precious minerals and... what are they called? Exotic minerals? Advanced minerals, which make technology. The other way to get technology is herbs. So I'm going to drop an herb right here. Replace the dart frogs. So you'll see the advantage of the dart frogs goes away, and we now have 7 technology. We're aiming at 30. Okay, and so now we're actually within range here. So let's see here. Oh, so we've got a hermit here. Plus 15 tech for each minerals within the borders. Stacks up to 30. So that's why this jumped up to 15, was because I placed some minerals. So let's see here. So this is royal stone. Wait, no, this is marble. And it gets plus 6 tech and wealth if next to another mineral. Problem is I can't put minerals in the water. So, and then what does the peppermint care about? It cares about having minerals next to it. Okay. So what I should do is actually grab the rock giant and put an advanced mineral next to the peppermint. So not only will the advanced mineral give us some technology, but the peppermint will also give us more technology. You'll see this happen here because it's next to the mineral. And the hermit does more technology because there's another mineral within the borders. So now we've overdone it with the technology. We're definitely, these guys are actually at risk of getting greedy now. You see it's got a little red thing there. Right, yeah, I know. So when it says I need to try to unlock stuff with developments, it's talking about these goals that I have here. So a hunter community. I want to make a village that only uses animals, and a harbor town. I want to have a village that's really advanced and has at least 8 ocean patches. So that's why I put an ocean on either side of this town, so that it could actually get 8 ocean patches within it. I don't think I'm going to succeed at that in a 30-minute game, though. I'll probably have to come back and try it again later on with more time. So we are ready for another village. Wow. Okay, we got a swamp ambassador. That's cool. Let me just build some more usable terrain so that we can get another village going. All right. So, one thing. So when I'm the rock giant, I can't have the rock giant pick up this ambassador because the rock giant already has one ambassador, and he can't go up to two until the others have gotten up to at least one, which sort of slows down my advancement. So I can't just min-max and just massively improve my rock giant before I've done any of the other giants. I have to actually sort of keep them comparable to each other. So let's have the swamp guy grab the swamp guy because why not? And my giants are growing stronger and stronger, but the humans have noticed as well. So that means that basically, once I get enough ambassadors of a certain level, that level of project will no longer unlock ambassadors. All right, so I want to settle near a mountain, so I'm going to go set up this fruit plant over here to attract a village over there. What else is going on here? Anybody else? Oh, so these guys have started they started a plantation. Okay, so it needs a city to be in a forest. It needs at least 4 plants and 125 food in use. So the last time I was here... Okay, yeah, so we got a new forest village. We'll look at them in a second. Last time I was here, the borders were much smaller. We didn't have the border all the way up the mountain. We didn't have these borders all the way out here close to the water. So we had limited space to work with. Now we've got a lot more space to work with. And they want to have at least 4 plants and a lot of food. So let's remind myself, okay, so the blueberries get extra food if they're next to an apple tree, a dandelion, or a strawberry. The strawberry gets awesome stuff if they're next to a blueberry or another strawberry, and next to a dandelion or a strawberry. So if they were just next to a strawberry, they'd be getting the extra food and the but they get less food than the blueberry. So keeping the blueberry there, even though it's a level 1 thing, might not be that bad. Let's find out what an apple tree does. So let's bring the forest guy over here. And then, the other way to get food is animals. So let's drop an animal over here just outside the boundaries so that it can start spreading food into the boundaries of the village. Oh, nature's looking great, but there are not many further developed natural sources. You can transmute them, right? Yeah, I'll show that in a second. Okay, so these guys are pretty good. This is our new village, and they want wealth and food. Okay, so these guys are asking for 2 things at once. So we've got the rock giant, who can definitely provide them with wealth. So let's drop some wealth on them over here. The swamp guy can also give them wealth with... Yes, the animals made by the swamp giant provide wealth too. So we'll drop some things over there for them, and then we'll worry about food after these guys are done with the food. So let's turn this into an apple tree. So we've unlocked the fruit aspect. So now we can make apple trees for the first time. So let's give it the fruit aspect. Fruit aspect appears here. Make an apple tree. And so the apple tree's got these rules. Let's see, plus 8 food for each animal nest next to it. So this guy, did he just make an animal nest? He did. And so now, we got a lot more food here because we got an animal nest. But notice I made a potent fruit aspect. Now the way this works is you can make a lesser aspect, a potent aspect, a greater aspect, or a sublime aspect. And which one of those you get depends on sort of how leveled up your giant is. So as you get more of the same type of ambassador riding on the head of your giant, it will level up their ability to make better and better versions of the same aspects. And so you always have a chance of making at least a potent aspect, but it's sort of a roll of the dice. We lucked out and got one here. And so it looks like here, I can make this I can make a potent fruit aspect out of this. Because this is a potent fruit aspect, it unlocks another level of transmutation, which is a pear tree. And the pear tree can make more food and awe. So I think, let's upgrade to the pear tree. Okay, so this pear tree just naturally makes more food than the other plants. Plus, it likes being next to other plants like these dandelions. It also wishes that it had some more plants over here, right? Does it care how many? Yeah, each plant gives it extra. So, okay, I've got animals here right now, but the animals aren't making a whole lot, so actually I think I'm better off with more fruit over here. Meanwhile, to keep raising the plants, let's grab the ocean guy and let's do animals over on this side. Actually, let's do them up the mountain one so they can sort of maximize their value in both directions. Okay, so I just made even more plants next to this pair. And let's see here. So we got blueberries, which, let's see here. Okay, so we could still level this up to an apple tree. So let's see here. Yeah, let's put fruit on there. And then making an apple tree. The apple tree likes being next to animals, so we'll grab some animals. Oh, notice that these abilities have cooldowns on them, so I can't just spam them. I have to wait between uses. Okay, so we're going to put animals right here, and we're getting really close to the... How much did they want? 125 food? We're getting really close to being able to provide 125 food. So you see how, like, you make one decision and it sort of cascades. Like, I made blueberries, which made me want strawberries next to the blueberries. The strawberries wanted dandelions next to them. Then I just wanted to build an apple tree, and then because I made a pear tree out of it, I lucked out and I got a potent aspect, and I was able to upgrade the apple tree to a pear tree. The pear tree said, hey, I want more apple trees next to me, and the apple tree said, I want animals. And so so these decisions sort of chained into each other. Okay, now these animals, so I've got a chicken. It likes to have blueberries within range, so I could put blueberries next to it, or I could start advancing it. Oh, one of my projects ran out of time. I was so focused on this village that I abandoned one of the other villages and I didn't complete it. So let's see here. So, the herd aspect. So in order to get bunnies, I need to upgrade this guy with the herd aspect, which means a swamp ambassador. So I can't do bunnies yet. So I guess, yeah, for now, I will just put a blueberry right here to make these chickens generate more food. And now that gets me just over the line, over 125. So I'm not going to go any further. Let these guys grow at their current slow rate because we don't want their greed to get too... Yeah, so they've got enough awe, and they're growing slowly enough that they don't have any greed. So that's good for me. What else is going on? Ooh, we've got a new challenge. Alchemist. So, okay, I did want to grab a swamp ambassador, so that's good. So I've got an alchemist project here, which means I'll get a swamp ambassador if I succeed. They want 120 technology. I'm not very close to that. Let's see here. Okay, so peppermint likes to have minerals next to it. This likes to have minerals within range. What about the transmutations? Tomato. It wants technology when there's food. So if this was a project that wanted both technology and food, tomatoes would be perfect because it benefits from both. This makes awe, but it needs a lesser toxic aspect, which I don't have access to. So I think I'm stuck with peppermint, but peppermint wants to have minerals next to it, and it likes each mineral. So the fact that I can't build anything on the right side of it is kind of a waste. So what we're going to do is replace this mineral with peppermint. We're going to place this peppermint with a mineral, and then we'll put another mineral on the other side. The peppermint will be more productive. We'll have 2 minerals here, which will add up to 3 total, which is the max that this thing can benefit from. And then, I don't know what we're doing next. What's going on here? So this is... Okay, this shrine is almost running out of time. It wants more food. So, okay, so my ocean guy isn't doing anything right now. So let's... Okay, if I put a chicken here, it'll benefit from this, but not very much. Okay, let's put an animal just outside. Let's build another plant there. And, okay, so these guys, they just swapped these. Rock guy can't quite make any quartz yet. I just love, like, I'll set a task in one part of the world, and I'll just see these guys charging by. Oh, hey, NPM200 just joined us in the chat. Hi, NPM. I don't know how long ago you introduced yourself, but I appreciate you showing up. Okay, Rock Guy can build another... what are these called again? Marble. Rock Guy can build another marble. So notice the peppermint pops up. This also pops up. We're towards 96 technology. But what do we want? We want 120. So the marble likes having another technology next to it. Sorry, another mineral next to it. And can we upgrade it at all with crystal or reaction? We can't. So it doesn't care whether it has an advanced mineral or like one of these precious mineral next to it. So let's do precious at first, just to see what my options are for transmutation. So I've got the noble aspect. And so I can make topaz, which will give me wealth and awe. And see, salt needs seismic. I don't have seismic. So that's the one that could give me potentially technology. So it looks like this precious mineral is not going to be helping me very much. So let's put an advanced mineral here instead. Though actually, even that's not as much as I would get from putting, right? I don't know. I'm getting plus 6 instead of 10. So I'm getting a total of 12 extra from here. So 16 plus 16 is 32. If I did 21 and 10 next to each other is only 31. So this is actually better. Okay, we got a forest ambassador because we finished this one. Okay, so who could benefit from a forest ambassador? Let's see. Do we have swamp? So, okay, crystal aspect. Yeah, let's grab crystal aspect for this guy. And then are there any other... Oh, we're trying to build this one. They want food and a lot of wealth. And right now we only have wealth. We've got a lot of space here. So let's do some food. So let's drop some chickens. And we got some precious minerals here. So these guys want, let's see here, some food and a lot of wealth. That's right. So let's bring the swamp guy over here with some exotic animals, which can overlap a lot of tiles and raise the wealth over here. These guys aren't doing anything. These guys need 120 tech. We're up to 118. We're so close. Oh wait, what are these guys doing? Oh. Okay, so I raised their tech cap so high that their greed got high enough, they decided to send an army out to attack Tree Rock, which is this town over here. So it's a small army. I think it's probably not going to destroy the village, but maybe I should have been a little careful at how quickly I added all of these technology upgrades. Oh boy. Okay, so that is actually a fairly large army. While they're attacking, I'm just going to throw something else over here. Okay, so they've crossed the border. These guys are defending themselves. They're all throwing spears at each other. Everyone's panicking. Oh no! No! Okay, but they won. They defeated the army. So good. Hopefully they've gotten that out of their system. What was I doing over here? Okay, that's right. So I added some animals. Okay, so this place... Oh, wait, no, this was not the place I was working at. Where was I working? Ah, right here. That's right. So the swamp guy added these wealth-generating birds, which what do they like to do? Rare feathers. They want to be next to a plant. Okay, and this place likes both food and wealth, so probably I want a food-generating plant, which means I want my forest guy to put a food plant up here. So that will level up the amount of wealth being generated. We've got some food going here. Herd aspect or hunt, I don't have either of those. So I'm stuck with kangaroo rats over here. They like being near a mineral. Okay, so let's bring a mineral over. And these guys like wealth generating minerals, so we'll do that. Actually, I'm not sure what plants get made on a mountain when you want to make food plants. Got kumquats. Ooh, so look, I've got a locked... Oh, we got a swamp ambassador. Cool. Let's pause the game. So we've got a locked thing. This plant is still locked. Try to develop humans differently to unlock it. So basically, each time I complete one of these challenges up here, over the course of a game, I unlock new options. So I don't even know what this upgrade to this plant is like. Like, I don't know what it is. So I need to keep progressing, keep playing this game again and again and again, unlocking new possibilities within the game, so that next time I'll have another tool at my disposal. So when I first started playing the game, I had a lot of these locked, but I've unlocked a bunch of them so far. Okay, so this generates some food. That generated more wealth from these birds, and okay, so that gets us over 100. So now I just need to worry about food. So I'm going to add some minerals there. What else can I do? Let's do a fruit and plant over here. And oh, yeah, the swamp ambassador. So forest guy doesn't need that so much. Let's see, who does. What about ocean guy? Does ocean guy want swamp? Herd aspect. Yes, I do want herd aspect. So a couple of times I've noticed I wanted that. So I'm going to send the ocean guide over to get the swamp ambassador. Rock giant shows up. NPM says, these guys just pop into existence and already want wealth. They truly are human. Okay, so you notice this went up to 3 per tile, and because I've got so many tiles covered by these guys, that actually gets me almost to my goal. But this actually popped me over my goal on the wealth side. So these guys, they're starting to get a little greedy. Hope that doesn't get too crazy. All right. So to get a little bit more food, let's put down some fruiting plants. Oh, right. So withered shrubs are what show up in the desert. That doesn't give us hardly anything. I can make it a barrel cactus with leaf aspect. And it gives more tech if humans are lured to it because of high wealth on the patch. Well, these guys like wealth. Do they want tech? I don't know. What about this one? Lesser growth aspect gives me rich or fruit aspect. Gives more food. Okay, let's give them more food. So let's give the fruit aspect to these withered shrubs. I like the first level of the plants in the desert is just useless. Make it agave. Okay, so now agave is generating enough food that we're over the line over here. So this project's going to be completed. And then it likes being next to another plant. So even though this is outside the borders, we can put another plant here. And wait a minute. Did I? I feel like, wasn't it already doing 21? No, it wasn't. It was lower than that. Okay, cool. Okay. So I forgot what number it was at first. I thought it was already 21 and it didn't get a benefit, but it did get a benefit. So, I mean, this is probably wasting my time, but let's make another one. So when they expand, they'll get even more food. So my swamp guy now has herd aspect, which is one of my favorites. What other projects are going on here? Ooh, a desert ambassador. Yay! Who needs a desert ambassador? So my ocean guy is pretty much ready to go. Forest, swamp. Okay, yeah, so this guy doesn't need a desert ambassador. What about forest? He gets hunt. I've wanted hunt. I remember there was something I wanted that had hunt. So let's grab it for the forest ambassador. The forest giant should grab the desert ambassador. Giants are starting to lose their energy. We'll start to sleep between now and 1 minute. So we are running out of time. You see, this little bar up here is counting down how much time I have left. So I've been playing this for about half an hour. And so now we're about to run out of time. I didn't end up trying to do that animal challenge that I said I was going to do because, you know what, there was no point anyway. And I haven't had enough time for this town to get big enough to absorb any ocean. One thing I should want to point out, by the way, I didn't realize this at first. I thought that oceans were just obstacles. You can actually put stuff in them. I put some fish in here that actually are generating wealth. And so that was... sacrifice altar? Holy cow. destroy Blue Valley. So occasionally you'll get these, and I actually have not followed up on any of these yet. Sometimes you will get projects that actually require you to do violent things and actually destroy things that you've built. And I am such a hoarder. I never do that. So there's entire, like, basically tech tree directions I have not gone because I just don't have the will to destroy the towns that I've created. Okay, so we finished the era. The 30 minutes are up. We're done. We didn't achieve any of these challenges, but that's fine. So I can either continue in free play and not be going after any of the challenges, or I can just finish the game and start over. So I'm going to finish the game. And that's it. That's Reus. I mean, obviously there's a lot more to it. There's so many combinations of different what am I trying to say? Synergies you can create, which are, or symbioses that you can create. That I was only scratching the surface of all of the strategic possibilities. But the thing that I think is really cool about this game is what a good job they've done of making it so that this game can never quite be played by rote, because basically there's so many. Each decision you make is predicated on previous decisions and previous random events. So, and they've got so many different layers of them that, like, you can imagine a version of this game where all of the decisions are basically made for you before the game begins. Like, there's one obvious path. You want to build this biome and then stick the village right here, and then you do this symbiosis on this side and this symbiosis on that side, and it always maximizes, and choose this project, and you can imagine a version of this is very deterministic, where you figure out the right strategy and then you just succeed at it. But what they did instead was, you can control where the biomes go. You can't control where a village settles, so you don't know how much space you're going to have on either side of the village. You can't decide which projects the village will take on. There's several different options for each village. You can't decide where the project goes. You can't decide, like, there's all these things you can't quite decide that are, like, you can learn some basic principles of things that you like to do when the opportunity arises, but you can't fully control when the opportunities happen. So you can get good at this game by getting really familiar with your options and getting really clever about, remembering them, knowing which things to mix and match, or being able to sort of, just by reading the help text, figure out what to do in the moment. But you can't just solve it. The game is never solvable because there's enough random elements and there's enough layers of different decisions you're making that affect each other, different symbioses that can overlap with each other and complement each other or work against each other. It reaches a level of complexity with not so much randomness that you feel like you have no control. You definitely have a lot of strategic control over the outcome, but just enough randomness that you are always adapting to circumstances you're finding in the field. So it's such a perfectly balanced example of the right amount of procedural generation and the right amount of strategic control to feel really balanced and really slick, that I don't know, I'm just kind of in awe of the thing they accomplished with this game. So that's what I love about Reus. So that having been said, we can wrap up the video, put a subscribe button up there, and move on to something else. But Reus, seriously, it's one of my favorite indie games from the past several years.